Are you just administering O2?
No, we're trying to get him on gas so that we'll have an added anesthetic agent. So try, if you're in there, try turning oxygen on to 1. And turn your isoflurane all the way up to 5. Okay. So anyway, in the final analysis, we did not find a foreign body, but rather a piece of GI tract that was stenotic, which means it was excessively narrowed down. Not really sure what to do about that. We're going to have to think on whether that needs to get repaired somehow or whether we modify diet as such. It may also relax on its own. The tissues seemed functional, so there wasn't anything to do. There wasn't anything to sort of.
He was certainly not out of the woods yet, but
yeah, I mean, you know, he's. My sense is he'll do fine. He'll do fine.
There's no foreign body in the bearded dragon. In fact, it's part of the GI tract that seems to be a little bit narrow. So at this point, they don't quite know what they're going to do. They have a better idea of what's going on, so they've stapled the patient back up, and they're going to monitor him and think about further treatment on the bearded dragon. So he's heading off to recovery and is going to do just fine.
So we're fresh out of surgery, and our bearded dragon is in recovery. So I figured we'd take this opportunity to ask you the viewer-submitted question of the week.
Okay, sure.
And that question is, now that it's winter time, should I stop doing my tick treatment on my dog?
Okay. That's a good question. The short answer is no. And the reason for that is that ticks can actually survive throughout the entire year. And it's usually not the adult tick that lives through the winter, but it's usually a larval stage or a nymphal stage. But they do survive through the winter months. And they're not very active usually. But what happens is if we get a warm spell, which does happen in the winter up here, sometimes in January it warms up to 50, 60 degrees, those ticks will actually get extremely active through those warm days. And they'll actually seek out animals at that time. And so what happens is occasionally you'll get a huge infestation on an animal because there's so many ticks that are running around just for that short period that they kind of key in on the animal that they do find, and they can be a problem. So the answer is yes, you should continue the tick medication throughout the year, although it is a little bit more costly to do. It's good to be safe and continue that tick medication. The other reason is that some tick products can actually be effective towards other insects, usually fleas and sometimes mice as well. And fleas can live their entire life cycle indoors, so they can survive the entire winter, in the carpet. And if you're only treating an animal for 9 months out of the year, you give that 3-month period where they can reinfest an animal. So it is smart to continue parasite medication throughout the entire year.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Well, we sure did have fun at the New England Wildlife Center today, now didn't we? What an interesting surgery we got to sit in on as well. You know, we're here at the South Shore Disaster Animal Rescue Team Ranch here in Stoughton, Massachusetts. And one of the things that we have a problem with is my pal Ferris here. Hey, buddy. Ferris enjoys the property so much that sometimes he likes to bolt out that door when we open it. And so today I'm going to show you a quick, easy way on how to train a dog not to bolt out the door. Now, one of the things with any training is that the more you do it, the better the dog is going to get at it. So the more we want to do it, the more we can trust that he's going to do the behavior that we want. So what we're going to do, just to be safe, we're going to start right off with putting a leash on him. Because obviously we don't want him bolting out the door and potentially having a problem. You could even do this if you have a backyard that's fenced in. You could use that door that way there, God forbid. If the dog bolts out, he's in a safe environment. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach his leash to him. Hey buddy, how are you? Yeah, you can see he's very excited. So we're just going to put the leash on him. I'm going to leave him loose. You can see Ferris is very excited that we have his leash attached to him. So what I've done so far, and he knows where his treats are. What I've done so far is I put a piece of blue tape on the floor that shows about where the door opens to. So the idea here is that I don't want Ferris to go past that piece of blue tape. So I'm going to, as I open the door, I want him in the sit position. If he stands up, I close the door. So I'm taking away what he wants, which is to go outside, until I get the behavior that I desire. So it's going to go something like this. As he says, stay sitting, I'm going to keep the door open, keep the door open. And I'm actually going to go so far as to step, and that's when he loses his privilege. So what I'm teaching Ferris is that as long as he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, which in this case is sitting, he's going to get what he wants. So he's not allowed outside until I get control of him or call him out. You're such a good dog. Yes, you are. As you can see, he wants to go up, so this is perfect. I want him excited about going up. So I'm going to put him in the sit position. There's my blue tape. Ferris, come. Come on. Okay, sit. Good. Good boy. Give you a piece of cheese for your sit. I'm rewarding his good behavior. So now here I'm going for the door. Now if he gets up, I'm going to close the door. The door's all the way open. This is exactly what I want. He's not going to move until I say, okay. Now I have control of his leash and he can go outside. So he did a great job. He did exactly what I wanted him to do. Typically, we have the leash on him for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, is safety. We want the dog leashed at all times. We don't want him to get himself into any trouble whatsoever if he bolts out the door. So you can either be doing this while training him while holding the leash properly, okay, so around your wrist, in your hand, or you can have a partner holding the leash while you're working this. So I'm going to do that with the leash in my hand. So I'm going to bring him down. I put the little blue tape down. Come on, Ferris. Come on. Nice, yes. Going to get him into the sit position. Good boy. Opening the door. As soon as he got up, I closed the door. So we're going to try it again. Sit. Good. Just going to fix your collar. There you go. Let's see, Ferris has had a little practice with this. I'm going to close the door. What do you want to do if you want to go outside? Good boy. And this is exactly what I want. Now, I'm holding the leash loosely so he's not getting any tension or being pulled by it. And I'm going to sit here a little bit with the door open so he understands he can't just bolt out if he wants to. Now I'm going to call him out. Under control. Come on, Ferris. Good boy. Perfect. Okay, hey, buddy. Come on. Good job. So I'm going to do this half a dozen or so times. And every time you take your dog out, you want to practice this. The one time that he gets to just bolt out when he wants to, you've really knocked the training back a few notches. So you really want to build on the positive reinforcement. Lots of praise. And again, you notice I'm not giving him treats to actually do what I want him to do. I'm taking away what he really wants, which is to go outside. So I'm using positive reinforcement to allow him to do the behavior that I want and get what he wants. Just to show you how easy it can be, and it's even sometimes challenging, I'm going to use a different dog. This one happens to be Raven. Raven's a little younger, a little bit more rambunctious than we saw Ferris. As you can see, he's a lot more interested in what's going on here at the ranch. So we're going to give it a shot and see how he does at the door. Still have the blue tape on the floor, still have him on a leash, so we're going to give it a shot here. Home. Because he's a little bit more rambunctious, absolutely going to use the leash, have it on my wrist, have it in my hand. So it's going to be very important for me to control Raven. So what we're going to do is, he knows his sit command pretty well, so I am going to use treats to get him in the sit command, because we've always rewarded him for a positive sit, and then we're going to do the open door, closed door thing as you saw with Ferris. Got my blue tape on the floor, right there. Raven, hi. Yes, that's it. See what I mean by rambunctious? Sit, good. Dropping the leash. Up, sit. No. You're a cutie, yes, okay, good. No. As you can see with more rambunctious dogs, it was a little bit more difficult than with Ferris. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this in smaller steps so Raven doesn't get too frustrated. And you can see he just wants to play right now anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in the sit. That's a beautiful sit, Raven. No. And I'm taking away. See what he's doing? He's going right back. So he's slowly getting it. No. Nothing in my hand. Sit. Good. Good boy. Good showed him that as long as he was there, I gave him an instant positive reward for doing what I wanted him to do. So we're going to take it in much smaller steps with Raven, unlike Ferris, where I was able to get the door a lot more open. So we're going to build on that. So here again. Good boy, hi. Here you go. Sit. A little over my blue tape, but that's okay. Good boy. Now you saw what happened was as soon as I closed the door, he went right back into that sit position. So that's what we're looking for, is that mark, or that, hey, I get it. Yeah, you're a big guy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Will work for treats, by the way. Sit. Good. No, I can't. Sit. Good. Perfect. Good boy. So you see, I'm not doing what I did with Ferris, which is opening the door and going right outside. Ferris had a little bit more practice with this. So you can see that what I'm building on. Good boy. Good job. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Excellent job. So you can see, now that wasn't absolutely perfect by any stretch, but what you can see is that as we slowly built from, I wanted him in a sit position, he got a treat, I went for the door, as I opened it, as long as he didn't get up, he got a treat, and slowly I was able to build to opening the door and even stepping out. Now just because he did it once right doesn't mean he's now trained. What it means is he's starting to get it. What I like is 10 in a row, perfectly reliable, before you're sure that he's got it. But you've got to remember, it's very important with training a dog that you're consistent. Every time you want to take him out, you've got to go through this. This way here, if somebody's entering your home or you're bringing groceries into the house, you're less likely to have a dog who's going to dart out into the neighbor's yard, dart out into the street. Therefore, you're going to have a safer dog, a happier dog, and a more easy dog. Wasn't that fun, Raven? Yeah, that was a good time, huh? There you go. There you go. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you had as much fun as I did, and clearly as much fun as Raven's having. I'm Chris Carpino. This is Animal House. Until next time, be nice to your pets, because they'll be nice to you.